Hey Kentucky, this is Matt Jones. Tonight, UK basketball's fall lineup comes into focus after draft decision day passes. A Louisville mall cracks down on underage shoppers, and Drew Franklin challenges a young golf prodigy. That's next here on Hey Kentucky. Welcome everybody to Hey Kentucky, presented by Wendy's. Ricky Jones is my co-host tonight. Keep your television sets on. It's
Back
totally
in the
fine.
house.
Ricky, good to see you.
You too, baby.
I just is who I is. Let's
You
get
is
started.
who
We
you
begin
is.
with UK basketball as the NBA draft deadline has passed and the picture's becoming clear. Take a listen to this announcement from EJ Montgomery.
And we had a good season on the court because of our love for the grind. I'm proud of what we accomplished together. I'm back, year 2.
EJ Montgomery joined the list of Cats returning for the 2019 season, giving Kentucky probably its best option in the front court. Also deciding against going to the NBA, Virginia Tech's Kerry Blackshear, who's high on John Calipari's list and who Cal will still go after to add to the team. He could end up being the best transfer in the country. And then there's also news involving UK walk-on turned scholarship player Brad Calipari. He has decided he is going to transfer and go somewhere else to finish his career. Lots to talk about. Ricky, first, EJ Montgomery. How big is it for Kentucky to get him back?
EJ is who he is, and EJ understands how this whole NBA draft thing works, man. You either going to be a high draft choice, you got 2 rounds in that. It ain't like the NFL. So if you can't get in quickly, like early on in that draft, you go back to school. It's best to go back to school and play than go and sit in the
And he
D League.
probably wasn't going to go in the first round, might not have gone in the second round.
Exactly.
But he has the talent to come back and maybe be a first-round pick, so I think it made sense for him. Kerry Blackshear, if you're this kid transferring from Virginia Tech, would you join this Kentucky team?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're in the NFL, you go to the Patriots. You're in the NBA, you go to the Warriors. You're in the NCAA, you go to UK. Why wouldn't you?
All right, what about Brad Calipari? Do you understand the desire to go away from his dad and go somewhere where he might be able to play?
Look, Cal said when he came to UK, if you can't play, I can't hide you. He couldn't hide his son no more. So he's got to get into that portal and go somewhere.
You think it's hard to leave dad, though, in that circumstance?
Nah, man, he's doing his daddy a favor. He ain't got to make any excuses for him anymore. Brad could not play at this level, so he needs to go somewhere to get on the court.
I think he will play somewhere else.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
I really
but he
do.
wasn't going to get on the court.
Now,
for
there's
the Cats.
also news regarding the UK basketball schedule. The SEC just revealed the home and away matchups. Now, Kentucky will play every team at least once, but 5 teams they will play twice: Florida, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Georgia. They end up hosting Alabama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri. They go to Arkansas, LSU, South Carolina, and A&M. And an interesting tidbit for next season, Calipari has been contacted about playing a game in London, England, and he says the potential opponent is a good one. Let's start with the SEC. Next year, probably the best team will be Florida next to Kentucky. They play them twice. Otherwise, Auburn's down, so what do you think of the schedule?
Look, the SEC is getting better.
It is?
It's getting better in basketball. It's not an also-ran in basketball anymore. And so I don't think there's anything such as, a walkthrough schedule anymore, but Kentucky's still the class of the league.
You like the game for Kentucky in getting, they've got Auburn twice, Georgia twice. A&M could be pretty good, only have to play them once. I think overall it's a fair schedule. A lot of years, Ricky, the SEC makes all the good teams be the teams Kentucky played twice. It was like that last year. This year it seems a little more balanced.
Well, and watch out for that team from my home state of Georgia.
They're better.
Tom Crean's doing some stuff there, and you don't know exactly what they're going to be next year, but they could be good.
There's no doubt we're playing them twice because of Anthony Edwards, the number 1 ranked player in Kentucky.
Exactly.
Hey, what about a game in London, England? Would you want to go?
As we say at Morehouse College, my great alma mater, it'd be well-read, well-dressed, and well-traveled. Get all over the world, man. See the world. Play a little hoops, learn a little
I
something.
forgot you went to Morehouse. Did you like the dude paying everybody's tuition?
I wish he would have did it in the class of 92 when I graduated.
It would have been nice. Now, turning to politics, yesterday's remarks by Special Counsel Robert Mueller drew reaction around the country, including here in the Bluegrass. Breaking 2 years of silence, Mueller said if his team had clear confidence that Donald Trump did not obstruct justice, they would have said so and it would have cleared Trump. But Mueller ultimately abided by Justice Department rules that say you cannot indict a sitting president. Now, Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Grimes said she echoes Mueller's statement and is seeking funding for protection from hackers since this is one of only 3 states holding elections this year. Let's start with the initial statements by Mueller. Did you agree with Mueller? What did you think of what he said?
First of all, I'm sick of Mueller, Bueller, whoever he is. This man takes 2 years to come out and not make a decision, in effect. I'm sick of all the double talk. He says, if we thought he was guilty of something, we could have cleared him, we would have said so. Well, you didn't say he was guilty of something. You know, and I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm sick of that double talk.
You think he should have said, yes, he's guilty, no, he's not the I can't say either way.
Nah, I think he's guilty. I think he did something. But by these rules, I cannot indict him and take him to court.
And he wouldn't say it.
Be clear, but he wouldn't say it, so forget all of that.
What about Allison Grimes saying she is worried that in this election we could be vulnerable to hacking?
I haven't listened to anything that Allison Lundergan Grimes has said for about the last 6 or 7 years, man, when the woman ran for office and wouldn't even admit whether or not she voted for Barack Obama. Another person who engages in political double talk, and beyond that, America's clearly broke. We don't have money for elections, roads, bridges, dams, or swimming pools for children, which we'll talk about later.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
Hey, why not,
I
man?
like when you're on. I get to be the straight guy.
No,
I get to just
no.
sit here and say, I get to be the non-controversial.
Let me tell you something. The good people of America and the good people of Kentucky just want somebody who will give it to them straight. They're sick of all that double talk.
There you go. A Louisville mall has decided to crack down after complaints about teens getting out of hand. Minors will soon have to be accompanied by an adult to shop at Jefferson Mall on weekend evenings. The youth escort policy will require all shoppers under 18 to be accompanied by a parent or guardian 21 years or older. On Friday and Saturday night, this plan begins after 4 p.m. This is already in place at a mall in St. Matthews. Ricky, what do you think of this mall crackdown policy? Is it fair?
I'm glad you brought up that this has been in place for a few years at the Mall St. Matthews after a supposed riot that supposedly involved a number of minority children, and they overreacted and put this in place. And I'm not sure if this is good at this point either, because there's some really nasty little undertones to it that I don't necessarily like. But people have a tendency to overreact about things these days.
Okay, so when I was a kid, you go to the mall on Saturday night to hang out.
Right.
I mean, I think the likelihood is most kids under 18 are going to the mall after 4 o'clock going to hang out.
Right, of course.
Do you think the mall has a right to say, look, we don't really think y'all are here to buy anything, so that's why we don't want you just hanging out here?
Well, first of all, they might buy something. And let's be clear, when you talk about kids, when you talk about 5-year-olds, what if a kid is 17? Right?
Yeah.
They said the kid
Could be
can't
in college
come.
even.
And kids usually do buy something. They'll go to the movies, they'll go in, they'll get something to eat.
So you don't like the rule?
No, I don't like the rule. I don't like the rule. I got more faith in our children.
Now to our weekly feature on Hey Kentucky, What's the Beef? Brought to you by the Kentucky Beef Council. It's a follow-up on the state's proposed regulation that would ban tattooing on scarred skin. Opponents of the idea attended a public meeting this week and got a chance to voice their opinion that language behind the proposal is unclear and vague and would do a disservice to breast cancer survivors and people who try to cover scars from accidents, illnesses, or self-harm. The Department of Public Health hopes to have a response to the hearing by July 15th. As a side note, I still don't understand why they're doing this, and I still haven't heard a good reason why this is a policy. It's contest time on Hey Kentucky, and it's time to give away something Ricky likes. 2 tickets to the Thoroughbred Diesel Throwdown at the Red Mile Racetrack. If you are the 18th caller right now, Ricky Jones, Noah, and Chris Tomlin will be waiting to answer the phone. 280-1818, 859-280-1818. The 18th caller will win 2 tickets to the Truck Pull Show and Shine Dyno Competition and more. 859-280-1818. Ricky Jones will be there. Bill Mack. Everybody just call and win the tickets.
Not 16.
Up next on 18th. Up next on Hey Kentucky, Drew Franklin decided to test his golfing skills against the state's young prodigy. Connor Smoke Ford won a national competition, but can he beat Drew? We'll show you right after this.